But the bottom line is, what do you do? Rachel Morin was a part of his district.
Yep.
From Maryland.
And I've spent the entire morning trying to find his public comments. I can only find the statement from yesterday when the person was convicted of murdering her. He didn't say anything. There were no protests. This is the type of stuff that really ticks off the American people. When our citizens die, when they're brutally raped, there's no outrage from the media or Democrats. But suddenly, this guy, by the way, the only thing, Ainsley, that's in dispute now is where he was deported.
Right.
So that's the only thing.
That was Lawrence Jones, who's understandably confused about the priorities of Democrat Senator from Maryland, Van Hollen, who has made a trip to El Salvador to make a wellness visit on the MS-13 gang member from El Salvador, who was sent back to El Salvador by the Trump administration. It's a matter of priorities. Van Hollen is clearly more concerned about the wellness of an MS-13 gang member than the family members of the woman who was raped and murdered by an illegal in his state who was just released after being found guilty of murder. So Lawrence Jones is justifiably confused, but he's not the only one. The next person to talk is Tom Homan, the border czar, who is very upset with the current situation with regards to this Senator Van Hollen making a wellness visit to an MS-13 gang member.
You mean Chris Van Hollen, the guy that didn't want to sign the Laken Riley Act that protects American citizens against illegal alien criminal gang members? Who instead of protecting Americans, his constituents, his taxpayers, he goes to El Salvador and defends an illegal alien with a deportation order that's a member of MS-13 that's been designated a terrorist organization by President Trump. That's where he went to defend it. It's just disgusting. The same senator who state yesterday released an illegal alien charged with murder, refused the ICE detainer, hit the street. So rather than protecting his community, protecting the residents of Maryland, he goes to El Salvador to coddle an MS-13 gang member terrorist.
Tom Homan, our border czar, is understandably upset with Democrat senators wanting to do a wellness check for a convicted MS-13 gang member who was arrested in this country and sent back to his home country in El Salvador and is now in an El Salvador CCOT prison. The other thing that's upsetting to the border czar is the fact that Senator Van Hollen's state just released the illegal who raped and murdered one of his own citizens in his district. And instead of spending time with that grieving family, Van Hollen and other Democrats go to El Salvador to do a wellness check on a convicted MS-13 gang member, instead of doing a legitimate wellness check on the members of the family of this woman, this American who was raped and murdered by an illegal in Van Hollen's own district. This is how upset the family is.
I'm very angry. I'm actually outraged, but I'm too sad at the moment to show anger at the same time. There was no action on the Democratic Party in any way, from Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Mayorkas, anyone here in Maryland. None of the senators did anything to help search for the murderer of my daughter.
Mr. Garcia, who entered this country illegally, has been sent back to El Salvador, his home country. The fact of the matter is, he is an MS-13 gang member. Despite Democrat Senator confusion, people wanting to do a wellness check on this guy down in El Salvador, and despite the media on the left adding to the confusion, the fact of the matter is, Garcia is an MS-13 gang member. Listen to the facts.
I want to put up on the screen a timeline because there seems to be, in the media especially, a narrative that is completely and totally and utterly false regarding, quote, Mr. Garcia. And not one but two courts actually said he was an MS-13 gang member and identified him as such. Can you please explain what you know about him?
Yeah, Sean, factually, this is an extremely disturbing case. And as a career prosecutor, it is even more disturbing. Every American tonight should be thanking Donald Trump for making America safer by getting this guy out of our country. I'm going to call him a terrorist because he has been designated as a member of a terrorist organization. So this illegal alien terrorist came into our country illegally in March of 2012. We know that because he admitted that when he was stopped in 2019 by the anti-gang squad. They stopped him at a Home Depot with 3 other members. And here's what's very important. He was wearing a sweatshirt with gang insignia on it. The guy he was with, another MS-13 known member, had a tattoo with very similar insignia on it. ICE declared him as a member of MS-13. The police officers, the gang unit, declared him as a member of MS-13, and also they independently went to a reliable, confidential informant who said not only is he a member of MS-13, he gave them the clique, the Westerns, and he was called a Chicao, which is one of the higher-ranking MS-13 members. So they rightfully detained him, rightfully. An immigration judge agreed. An appellate immigration judge agreed. Now here's where it gets even more frightening. In 2021, his girlfriend previously, his wife at the time, who he had married in jail after he'd gotten numerous tickets, didn't show up for court. He marries her in jail. She has a baby with him. And as a career domestic violence prosecutor too, I know it takes a lot for any woman to come into court and say they're a victim of domestic violence. This woman came into court twice getting a restraining order against him, saying it's horrific. He had beaten her. He had punched her in the eye. He had ripped her clothes off. What causes a young mother to do this? Her child was with her. She talked about her child in the petition for an injunction for safety. Ultimately, she didn't show up for court. That's your typical domestic violence victim. But this victim was even braver because she was married to one of the top MS-13 members who was illegally in our country and a terrorist.
Those are the facts on Mr. Garcia. He entered the country illegally years ago. He is a convicted MS-13 gang member. He's also guilty of domestic violence. The Trump administration, as a result, recently deported him back to his home country of El Salvador, where he is serving time in their CCOP facility. Despite that, Democrats want to make a wellness check on Mr. Garcia in El Salvador at that facility. Why? Seriously, I would like to know in the comments below why you think Democrats are doing that. And presumably, it's because these Democrats are trying to get votes. From who? Again, let me know in the comments below who you think the Democrats are trying to appeal to and who they're trying to get votes from. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. I'm going to keep generating more videos like this. By all means, subscribe. And if you know somebody who would also enjoy the video, please share it with them. Until next time, God bless. Love you all.